Jagannatha Swami Pratam Darshan Leela. Pratam Milan. First meeting, Pratam Milan Leela. Gauranga and Jagannatha Swami. Or Gaurangi and Jagannatha Swami. Gauranga is Gaurangi, Radha Bhav, Radhakanti, Radha Bhav. And Jagannatha Swami is Brajendra Nandan Shamsundar. That's a Swami. He's my Lord, my Master. Like my everything. So this is a beautiful story from Mahanidhi Leela, chapter 21. And its title is Liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He's one of the main players here, as you'll see right from the beginning. But I especially highlighted in these first 44 verses from verse 2, chapter 6, Mahanidhi Leela, verse 2 to 46. It's Mahaprabhu, and then it's the first meeting of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya with Mahaprabhu. His first meeting with Bhagavan. Because before that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, of course, was a Brahmavadi, not a Bhagavanvadi. He's a Brahmavadi. He was absorbed in Brahman and that concept of impersonalism. So let's hear Krishna's coverage. He summarized, he has he says, Nomi tam gorachandram ya kutarka karkashashayam sarvabhaumam sarvabhuma bhakti bhumanam acharat. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Gaurachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who converted the hard-hearted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the reservoir of all bad logic, into a great devotee. Very interesting translation. It's Kutarka. It means Kutarka. Tarko Pratishta Shruti Birvimenam. There's verses there. By argumentation and by, you'll never understand, yes, the truth. Kutarka means bad arguments. Literally. Karkasha Ashayam. His Ashay means his heart, was Karka. Karka means hard. His heart was hard by this Mayavad conception, by bad arguments. So his Prabhupada translates. That's the beauty of the Rasic translators of Rasic literatures. They can sprinkle all their own Rasabhavas into each verse and translation to reveal their sweetness of their love for the Lord and His devotees. So here it's Kutarka Karkash Ashayam. He's a reservoir, converted the hard-hearted Sarvabhauma, the reservoir of all bad logic. Very interesting term. He's a Kutarka. Kutarka means a reservoir of all bad logic. So some of us may be small reservoirs of bad logic or illogical. So this is the opening Sanskrit verse. This is the standard in Caitanya Caritamrta. The whole, you can say it's the Paribhasa Sutra for the chapter. It's a summary, essential sutra. First verse of each chapter is in Sanskrit by Krishna's Kaviraj, and he's kind of explaining what's going to happen. That basically a Mayavadi gets converted into a Vaishnava, and that names are, and this is going on, this type of activity of the Lord converting Mayavadis into devotees, or the Lord's devotees converting Mayavadis into devotees is going on time immemorial. So here, this is a classic Gaurachandra and Sarvabhauma. But the particular Leela we're telling is that the first meeting of Lord Caitanya and Gauranga with Jagannatha Swami, Brajendra Nandan Shamsundar. It's a very nice, very sweet pastime, very deep. We'll just hear about that. Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. This is Caitanya Caritamrta, chapter 6, beginning. All glories to Gaurachandra and Nityananda, Advaita Chandra, and all the devotees of the Lord, Gauranga. Aveshe Chalila Prabhu, Jagannath Mandire, Jagannatha Deki Preme, Haila Astire. In great ecstasy, Avesh, Mahaprabhu went from Ataranala bridge, and he's just crossed into the Puri district, the 18 arches of that bridge, to the temple of Jagannath. After seeing Lord Jagannath, he became very restless due to the love of Godhead. Astira, Jagannatha Deki Prema, Haila Astire. So just by darshan, he became restless. This is, of course, in Chapalya. This is one of the Vyavachari bhavas, becoming restless, disturbed, restless in the presence of the beloved. Rupa Goswami says, just like a young man becomes restless in the presence of a woman, or a young woman becomes restless in the presence of a young man, oh my dear Lord, please let me become restless in the presence of you. I mean, it's a little bit different. The verse in Nectar Dosh says, just as the mind of a young man is attracted to a woman, or the mind of a young woman is attracted to a man, similarly, let my mind be spontaneously attracted to you. So attracted means you're restless also. And so Lord Caitanya is walking for a month and a half or so from Navadvip, Mayapur, coming to find Krishna. And so Krishna's here in this Mahabha Prakash form, that Kanai Kutiya is one of the associates of Lord Caitanya. Kanai Kutiya, he wrote one book that Gaura Govinda Swami was discussing from. It's called Mahabha Prakash, and Fakir Mohan has a copy of that. It's in Aryan language, I believe, that kind of things like this. And so that's his language, the late Gaura Govinda Swami Nitya-lila. So he told that whole story of Krishna. Radharani was pining in separation in Nidhiban. Nidhiban is the site of their evening pastimes after Ras Leela, Vrindavan, and Kartik time. Then Radharani went there in afternoon or something in the daytime in great separation. She was lying on the ground and breathing her last. And then Krishna returned. He's always returning, but he returned to Vrindavan. And then they said, he went to Varsana, he went to Uddhav Kyari, he went everywhere looking for Radharani, and they said, where is she? She said, she's in Nidhiban. Then he ran there, and she was surrounded by all the Sakhis were there, even Chandravali, everyone was there, because they thought Radharani was leaving. I believe this is the gist of the book. It's in one of his magazines, maybe. So then Krishna, he was in Gopavesh. He gave up his Dwarkavesh. He had come from Dwarka. And he saw in the distance everyone gathered around Radharani looking like this, like hysterical, as if Radharani's about to leave, and holding cotton. Lita's holding cotton on her nose, and everyone's, what's happening? And then just from a distance, he sees Radharani, he faints. And then he runs, and then he sees Radharani, and then he just faints again, and he exhibits his form of Mahabhav Prakash, because she was totally absorbed in Mahabhav, an ecstasy of separation from Krishna, just like practically gone mad. And then so Krishna, seeing that, then he identified with that, and he adopted a form like Kurma Caitanya or Jagannatha. Then this deity the deity of Jagannatha is commemorating, according to this Parishad, Kanai Kutiya, commemorating Krishna's experience of Mahabhav Prakash, of his Mahabhav. At any rate, now let's see how it works now. Now Radharani is running, Mahabhav is Radharani running into the temple and seeing Jagannath, seeing her Swami in Mahabhav. Because if you go around the other way, that Krishna exhibited that, and that deity's there. So when now Radharani, because Krishna saw Radharani and showed the Jagannath form, now Krishna and Radha's Bhav is Gauranga. Now she's coming in, searching for her Swami. Where's my Swami? Where's my Lord, my Master, my Lord? Swami means this also, Lord, Master of love. My Nagar Swami, Master of love, doesn't necessarily mean husband. It means my Lord, my Master, my controller. And then let's see, with that little bit of background. So then, in ecstasy, then Jagannath Deki Prema Astire. We saw Jagannath because we hear that whenever he saw Brajendra Nandan Shamsundar, Vamshidhari. He's like, what happened? He's like, Avesh, it just says Aveshi Chalila Prabhu. Avesh means he was absorbed in his own, he was, within him, withdrawn within himself, within his own internal bhavas, relishing it, searching, where's Krishna? Krishna Kahan, Krishna Kahan. It's like gopis in rasa dance, Krishna, where's Krishna? So he's running across India, looking everywhere for some facsimile of Krishna. Going here, going to Lingaraj and seeing the Shiva Linga is Krishna, or anywhere, coming from Bhuvaneshwar, then coming to Taranala, then seeing the flag, then running down the street and just seeing there's Gopal. That's Gopal, but that's Gokul. He saw Gopal on the top of the temple, and he was with his associates for that at that point. Do you see? I don't. Yeah, we see. So now, so he saw Gopal. He didn't see Mahabhav. He said, this is Gopal, and then he became more enthused to find the Gopinath, the rasa dance, the Kaishora roop of Krishna. And then he runs, and the Gopal's there on dancing, so he must be inside. And Govinda Gopinath must be there. And he comes in, what I saw there on the top of the roof, on the Shikara, the dome, Shikara, and what I'm seeing now is Shyamasundar, he's Brajanananda, and he's Lakish, and he has those beautiful long serpentine arms. His arms are like long serpentine arms, But he was austere. After seeing Lord Jagannath, we say Lord Jagannath. After seeing Lord Jagannath, but it says Jagannath Deki. It's the Lord of His universe. Jagannath means the Lord of the universe. So for a lover, the beloved is the universe, and she may be Miss Universe also. By chance, if your girlfriend is Miss Universe, you say, "Hey, my girlfriend's a universe for me. She's Miss Universe." Or the guy's some Mr. Universe or whatever. It's a little funny thing, but the idea is that Jagannath is the Lord of the universe. And so the universe is, every man is an island. I have this expression, every man is an island. So the Lord of the universe means your universe, because Atmanamani Jagat, you live in the universe of your mind. Universal Productions, there's some movie, Universal Productions or something. So now, Jagannath Deki, this. I've been searching the universe for the Lord of my universe. The Lord of the universe is a territory, the terra firma of my heart, that's the universe. And the terra firma of my mind, that's the universe. And there's a Lord, there's a Swami, there's a Nath there. Nath, there's Gopinath, there's Jagannath, and Mathuranath, and Gopinath, and Jagannath, and Premanath, and then Prananath. Ashil Shiva Padavatam Panashtamam Darshan Mamatam Gurutava Yatata Davatin Lavatam. What Prananath is? My Prananath. My Prananath, is my prana different than my Jagat? Is my Jagat different than my Jagat is my prana. If there's no prana, there's no universe for me. If there's no more prana, there's no more universe for me. Whatever universe it was, Bombay universe or India universe or whatever, how expanded my mind was. That's it. So this is Jagannath Deki, then Prema Stira. Jagannath Alingate Chalila Dhan. Naturally, when you see the beloved, it's like the classic movie scenes, right? And then they run, and then the classic scene, embrace and spin around. So then what happens? This is Radharani. And Jagannath is austere also. She's Mahaprabhu is austere, restless, means moving, but he's stira. He's non-moving Krishna. He's not moving. And she's stira. So in this case, Radharani's love is greater. Radharani's running the Krishna. Like Abhisar. This is actually Radharani's Abhisar. It's a long Abhisar from Mayapur to Puri. That's a long one. And how much utkanti to bhav, eagerness to meet. If you imagine you're running to your beloved for 6 weeks, and running down like Singha, to describe as Singha Caitanya is running like a Singha, like a lion. A 7-foot lion can run pretty fast. Long legs, no? And you know how fast you can run. How fast can you run if you're afraid? If 5 dogs are chasing you, I think you can run like lightning fast. So that's fear makes you move so fast. So what about love? Love is less than fear. Love is greater. You may out of fear you run faster. You won't run through sticker bushes. You won't run down muddy paths. You won't just step on cobras. You may be fearful. Well, even there's another fear. You'll go around the cobra. But when Radharani's in love madness or premanmad of Krishna and the Vibram, she just steps on cobras. So he's restless. Jagannatha Alingate, we've said that. So Mahaprabhu went swiftly to embrace Lord Jagannath. So he saw, what is this? My lover's like this? This is Mahabhava, something wrong. What? He's stunned. He's not even moving. And so he's just running to embrace. Jagannatha Lingate, Chaliladhan, Mandiri Padila Prema Avishtahan. He was overwhelmed, Avishta. And he fell down, Prema Vishta. Prema Vishta. We say Avashta Chitta, that consciousness would go inside itself and lose connection with the material body. That was the problem with Shukadeva Goswami, if he was to mention the name Radha. If he was to mention the name Radha in the Bhagavatam while he discoursing with Parikshit, then he would become Avashta Chitta. I think this is the term. That his consciousness would go inside his consciousness would withdraw and merge into consciousness emerge in its own individual consciousness. It's like a oneness. It's like merging is the particle of consciousness merged with the totality of consciousness. At least that's the assumption, although it still remains this eternal individual identity. It's just like a molecule of water in the river it appears to merge in the ocean, but it's still an individual molecule of water amidst all those other molecules of the water. So the molecule of consciousness, when it merges in the Brahma Yuja, he thinks he's homogeneous with the entire eternal existence of that light, but he's still individual, that molecule spark of consciousness. So this consciousness merges within itself, and then there's no more senses. You're like the body is you're left the body basically. So you can't speak, you can't, you're just functional. And it said it would last for months. It was like a coma, like some people get sick or something happens with their brain or whatever, and they're lying there inert, and their whole consciousness is absorbed deep within themselves in a very like a turiya state, a suspended state of animation. You know what a coma? A person's alive. And depending on the adipas, the fat tissue in the body, he can continue to live for so long. If he's breathing, some people breathe, some people they just stop breathing, so they put some oxygen thing in their nose, and they have very thin, so they put some food, and the body's alive. The consciousness. This was the experience I saw with Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj with my own eyes, because two of my students, Madhukar and Kapila, and Radha, what was his name? Radha Shah, and it was other student. They were his nurses. I think it was several months, 6 to 8 months like that. Just fingers like this, just fingers, no beat. On his bed. One thing like this with oxygen respirator thing. Yes, some ventilator thing, some machine, oxygen tanks or whatever. I don't know. Another one they would go to the stomach. They occasionally put food in. Then after 2 or 3 months like that, and total inert apparently, they set up. She's here. About 1 o'clock at night, she's here. I think Radhesham died one day. Radhesham, I think he was on duty that night. Who's here? Radha. And then back for another couple of months. And then every so often they would just put some food and mix up. So Lord Caitanya he's absorbed in Prem Vesh, but he's functional. Prem is making him functional. Prem can make you functional or dysfunctional. So he's moving. He fainted. He was so overwhelmed with the love of God that he fainted to the floor. Daive sarvabhoma tahanke kari Darshan paricha marite teno kaila nirvaran. When Mahaprabhu fell down, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya happened to see him, and when the watchman, I guess the Padicha, Chokidar or whatever, he threatened to beat the Lord, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya immediately forbade him. Vaishnavara Kriya Mudra. No one can understand the movements of the Vaishnavas, what to speak of Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He thought he was some fanatic or some madman, maybe he's running to break the deity or defile the deity, then he collapsed, so maybe I'll get up and do it again, so I better beat him while he's down and drag him out, take him out, as they say. Sarvabhauma intervened rather. Daive, what's this say that? So then, Prabhura Sondaryara Premara Vikar Deki Sarvabhauma Haila Vismita Apar. Vismita Apar, an extraordinary state of surprise overtook the mind and heart of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. There's such a sanskara he had by his eyes, what he saw. Our eyes can produce some extraordinary impressions, very deep and lasting impressions in our consciousness, sanskaras. So it says he was surprised to see two things that Sarvabhauma was overwhelmed by. Vismita, it says here, Vismita apar, an extraordinary state of surprise overtook him, because he had never before seen such this sight before his eyes. Or what did he see? Two things that he saw, two attributes of Mahaprabhu he saw, which jolted his intelligence. It actually shook his whole conception, all the conceptions that he built his life upon. He's a guru, he's an acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, of Nyaya, logic, and the dry oil cakes of logic. He had a whole bakery full. He's cranking out oil cakes. Some bakeries make donuts and breads, and he was making dry oil cakes. And it dismantled everything just by a darshan. See how powerful bhakti sanskaras are. Not to speak of prema bhakti sanskaras. Seen as sanskaras, the exhibitions, the physical or the emotional outpourings, or it's not exhibitions in terms of a circus, but displays, the better word. The displays or outpourings of pure devotion exhibited in the body, or the words or feelings of the Lord, in this case Mahaprabhu, or the great devotees, Premi Bhaktas. Very impressionable. First impressions are lasting impressions, but they're only lasting with this body. But bhakti impressions are lasting forever. Because bhakti impressions, bhakti sanskaras are eternal, and they go deep. So it says here that what are the two things that struck him with such surprise, caught me by surprise? He's a logician, so he can figure out. Logician means you have a fantastic brain. He's an acharya. You can put everything together and draw the conclusion, logic. And you can use kutarka. It says kutarka, bad tarka. But he can argue. And you say this, well, what about this and this? Oh, yeah. He can tie people up in knots with his nyaya, with his logic, and his reason and logic, and his conclusions to bring everyone to Brahman or to the oneness. It's all one, don't you know? I'll show you. But now he was living in the vision of oneness, Advaita Darshan, the philosophy of oneness, of thinking oneness, seeing oneness, mixing everything into the oneness. All of a sudden now he's conquered by two-ness. He's conquered by two things. His whole oneness conception was conquered by two things. What two things? Prema and beauty, love and beauty. Love and beauty can do it all. Forget your logic. Love is illogical. Beauty is unreasonable. So if you have love and beauty, you lose your logic and lose your reason. So Mahaprabhu is telling here that he was surprised to see the personal beauty, Prabhupada translates. It simply says, Saundarya. And says, Swayam Saundarya. It says, Saundarya. Saundarya, Deki, and Prem Bikar Deki. Transformations of love. Because he studied so many shastras, the rasa shastras, they talk about all the things that you see in Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra describing rasa, all the different anubhavas and lamban and vibhava, all these things are there in drama and poetics and kavi and all these things. So a learned man will learn everything, and he'll dabble in many subjects, and maybe master one, Naya, or Advaitavad, or Advaita conception. But even if you're an Advaitin, you'll know Kavi and Vyakaran and Naya and Puranas and Nitihas. Many things you'll know and be aware of, although it may not be your, and you see them in a particular light. But here he was struck by these two things. And this is almost like a foreshadowing. This is the first person, really the first person we see, not maybe the first person, but one of the first before the South Indian tour, where these two attributes of Lord Chaitanya became the primary world-conquering attributes in the Lord's preaching campaign. Saundarya Rupam and his Prem. You'll see these two words all throughout Madhya Lila and his preaching. His beautiful, his form, even no hair. Usually hair is like the icing on the cake. Cake may be nice, but the icing is, it's attractive and gives a shine to the cake, and it's smooth. And so the hair is that final touch, the beautiful hair, and then how is it styled, and how is it oiled, and how is the color, and how it accents the shape of the chin and head, and everything. It's quite a positive contribution to the beauty of a person, generally thought of that way. So here he's shorn of his locks, but still, this a part of his mita, bald-headed giant mountain of love. Mahaprabhu. So fortunate, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. I wish I could eat all those dry oil cakes. Yeah. I wish I could eat all those dry oil cakes and get Darshan of Gauranga. Dry oil cakes of Lachi. Shukshma, Karka, whatever. Karka, Shukshma, whatever. Ecstatic transformations. Bhakshan. So we can understand these are transformations of prem, which I've read about in Kavi and theater and drama. But this is a devotee, apparently a sadhu. And he's a yatri. He seems to be from Bengal. And he's taking darshan of Jagannatha. I think Sarvabhauma himself is from Bengal. I believe he's originally from Bengal. Two brothers, Sarvabhauma and then Madhusudan Vachaspati or something like this. Or Vidya Vachaspati. Vidya Vachaspati. They're both pretty smart. Sarvabhauma and Vidya Vachaspati. Those titles indicate that they passed, through high school. At least. Vidya Vacha Aspati. Vidya Vacha. His mouth is all the knowledge is there. And Sarvabhauma, he's like the emperor. The Sarvabhauma is the emperor of the totality of Advaita Gyan. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. It's a pretty power-packed duo there. So they were born there. And Navadvip Mandal, and then later, at least Sarvabhauma, took that science, that logic was, the seed of logic, and Naya was, of course, Navadvip. And then he introduced it to South India, and Jagannath Puri opened a branch of the college, so to speak. Bahakshane Chaitanya Nahi, Bhogera Kaila Haila, Sarvabhauma Mone Tabe Upaya Chintila. He was thinking that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained unconscious for a long time. Bahakshane Nahi. He didn't come to Bahir Chitta, he didn't come to external consciousness. He just saw my Lord's in Mahabhav. And he's just stunned. And he's stira, astira, seeing him stunned, I must embrace him, then faints. A meeting in the Swapna Vilas, who can understand what happened then? Meanwhile, the time for offering prasad to Lord Jagannath came, and Bhattacharya tried to think of a remedy. Bhogkala. Shishya Padicha Dhwara Prabhu Nila Vahan Gareyani Pavitra Stane Rakila Shoyan. When Mahaprabhu was unconscious, Sarvabhauma, with the help of the temple guards and some of his own disciples, carried Mahaprabhu to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, which is quite close. It's near the Sweta Ganga, which is right next to the temple. You can so beautifully see Jagannath's temple from Sweta Ganga. You sit there on the steps and look toward the temple, and you can go down to the Ganga and with your hands. I mean, if you're an unfortunate follower of Thakur Haridas, or a fortunate follower, and with your hands you can offer snan to Jagannatha and Balaram Subhadra with the Ganga water, idam snaninam klinguranga and Jagannathaya and all like this. And you're seeing the dome, and then you'll see. It's so nice. Actually, separation is the union and separation is greater than the union and union. And that's told also. So for the anadhikaris, those unfortunate few that are not Hindus, non-Hindus not allowed in the Jagannath temple, they can experience Jagannath outside the temple, inside their mind and inside their heart. Outside the temple when he comes for Snan Yatra 2 times a year, Snan Yatra and Rath Yatra. And inside the heart, anytime, anywhere. When you turn your heart to Jagannath, or turn your mind to Jagannath, he turns his heart to you, turns his mind to you, and he's there. We served for 6 years in New Jagannath Puri, San Francisco, so somehow we had some relationship there with those things. So now he took him to his home and he laid him down in a sanctified room, Rakila. He kept him there. Pavitra Stani Rakila Shayana. It's very interesting. Gariyani Pavitra Stani Rakila Shayan. He laid him down in a very pure place. That could be any place where there's cow dung on the floor. That's a Pavitra Stan. Maybe some puja room or some study room. It seems that, I don't really know where that would be exactly, but I would obviously it was not part of, wasn't the living room or dining room or bedroom. It was some purified room, temple room or satsang room. And Pavitra Stan, as soon as the gobar, cow dung is rubbed on the floor and cow urine is sprinkled, then it becomes a very purified place. Because we see the house, everyone can see the house. Even that's the same house. Of course, all the carpets and rugs and furniture and everything, sandalwood furniture and crystal lamps, and you can imagine. But those bricks, all that construction is quite ancient, 500 years, those big, thick. And you see some of the old doors here and there, and there's many chambers that goes back here and there, very far. Several moments there's interlocking courtyards. Like there's the four-sided thing, then that courtyard, then that courtyard. In the summer you can't even get to it, they're locked. It's a big place. I have a friend who has a Radhashyam Sundar temple. He's actually a godbrother. And he's a Babaji over there, and he's from Bengal. His name now is Tamal Krishna Baba. And he's in Mahanta Radhashyam Sundar Mandir. And they say that that's actually the place where Sanatana Goswami did his bhajan, on the banks of Manasi Ganga. Oh, it's a long story. But his bhajan kutir now is in front of Chagaleshwar Mahadev. All he's just is Prachin this and Prachin that. At any rate, it's a very famous place, and every year on that Tirobhava, this Mundi Purnima, Guru Purnima, is a huge function in that temple. All Babajis come to celebrate. It's a very special place of this Sanatana Goswami. From the ancient authorities, they say so. So he's there, and when you go in the temple, and you see, I always once in the temple, and I saw it's like this. Then what's one door? He said, "I'll show you the property." So I went through the door. The temple is like in a courtyard. I went through the door, and there's a whole. It's like a football field-sized piece of property. And another door, it keeps going. There's huge properties there. It's right on, like Manasaganga side. So much area. It's on the same road as Chakaleshwar. You know Chakaleshwar? Go down a little further, and then the temple's there. So the point is, Sarvabhauma's house is very big, and there's some purified place. And Shwasha prashwasha nahi udar spandan dekhiya chintita hoila bata charyera man. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya started examining the body of Mahaprabhu because he was so much inert in internal consciousness. He wasn't sure, is he well? Is he unconscious? Or what is the situation? So then he saw that his abdomen was not moving at all. And he was not breathing. Shwasa, prashwasha. There was no breath, there was no breathing. Seeing his condition, Bhattacharya became very anxious. Of course, naturally he's anxious because what is the situation with Mahaprabhu? Generally they put some cotton swab if someone is in ecstatic consciousness and gone deep into turiya or some deep state and the body appears to be inert. They put some fine cotton to the nose to see some very slight movement of breath to indicate shwasha, prashwasha, some breathing. But he said there's nothing. So he's becoming, he's very much anxious, his mind. Is he left? Of course we know, you read the story of yogis, and there's yogis that have the power to control their involuntary nervous system. And they've even studied them with electrodes, and they've given them commands, okay, stop your heart. And he's in meditating, he can stop his heart. They can bury a yogi, and his heart is stopped, not moving. And he suspends his prana in his bones or in his man. He puts the prana in the man. He mixes his prana in his mind. But if the Atma is there and the prana is there, life is there. But he's hiding his life point, like this Indrajit. Where's his life point? Was in a cave or something. They've done studies, I've read in one institute in Kansas, Manager Foundation. They brought yogis to America and studied them. They gave them big money also. It was in the 70s. They would tell him, he said, okay, now speed up your heart. So they could speed up the heart to 300 beats per minute. So much for your medical school. You're just sitting there, it's okay, stop. Okay. So this is called, I believe this is called involuntary nervous system, parasympathetic or something, or sympathetic, I forget. But which is involuntary, means you don't have control over it. But so now imagine Mahaprabhu, he had no control over his nervous system, with his transcendental body, because prema had seized him. He was seized by prema. So now it appeared that is he alive? Is he dead? Of course, he's transcendental. He can't die. So now he goes. Shukshma tula ani nasa agrete dharila, isha chalaya tula deki dharya haila. Bhattacharya took a fine cotton swab and put it before the Lord's nostrils. Nasa, agra, agrete dharila. When he saw that the cotton was, because the abdomen wasn't moving, like if you look at an animal, you see an animal lying deep sleep, and you're not sure if it's alive, because you're not going to go touch his nose. But you can look and you see the stomach, the diaphragm stomach is moving a little bit, and so. Because I've seen many, in a village you see many dogs that are lying there, and then you think, is he alive or dead? And then if you see that, because not moving, then you know he's gone. So he was happy. He became hopeful. Now he's hopeful. Vasi Bhattacharya mane karina vichar, He Krishna Mahapremer Satvika Vikar. Sitting beside Mahaprabhu, he thought, who is this personality? He doesn't know his name. He's not really clear where he's come from. He's just arrived his first day in Jagannath Puri. He's taking Darshan of Jagannatha Swami. He ran to embrace him in love and he fainted, went unconscious, drew deep within himself, was exhibiting symptoms of ecstasy, prem vikar, which he observed in his form. But then he couldn't find life symptoms. He took this great saint, this sannyasi, to his home. Who is this sannyasi? Who is this mendicant? Who is this person, this yatri that has arrived in Jagannath Puri? But all I can so you try to identify someone. So he's Indian, or he's from this country, or maybe he's Gujarati, or this or that, or poor or rich, this, that. But he was seeing all these transcendental symptoms on his body. And it was first thing, he was overwhelmed. He's so beautiful, Saundarya. And he's exhibiting such prem. Saundarya Rupam and Prem Vikar. Now he's further examining him. So he says that he saw that, he said, he's thinking, he's sitting beside, imagine the whole scene, he's sitting beside Mahaprabhu looking at this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is from a golden form, lying, who could imagine what the face of Mahaprabhu looked like at that time? Transformations in love, running for 6 weeks to see her beloved, and an extended abhisar, journey of love, running from Mayapur to Jagannath Puri, finally seeing her beloved, and becoming overwhelmed, wanting to run and embrace Prema Lingana, Jagannath, and then collapsing, not even getting to embrace, and just all that hope in the heart of embracing the beloved, and all that anxiousness and running, that excitement. So then that's still lingering in the heart and mind, that excitement, that thrill, that joy of seeing the beloved, even at a distance, from a distance of taking darshan and running, and then fainting with that mood in the heart, and that feeling in the mind, and that's registering on his form. In what way we could only imagine by the depth of our own bhavas or realizations. What was the visage, the face, the countenance of the Lord? What did he look like? And now this Advaitin person, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the guru of the Mayavadis, he's lying next to the Radha Kanti and Radha Bhav, and he's seeing it, Radha in action with all her prem vikaras and this Mahabhava of Radharani. What am I seeing? He's just sitting there and looking at him. And he's thinking, this is a transcendental, ecstatic transformation. Very analytical, very clinical examination here based on the Shastra. By Jove, by Jove, this is an ecstatic transformation of love. And Advaitin has no idea. There's no such thing as love. And Advaitin, so it's one. It's just Brahman. There's love. Love. Two. He and me. He and she. So he says, brought about by love of Krishna, he says. A Krishna Mahaprema Satvik Vikar. You can understand that this type of transformation, this type of love, this type of ecstasy, the incredible ecstasy I see in the face of this mendicant, must be a transformation due to love for Krishna, Jagannath Sri Krishna. And he hit the nail right on the head. Hey Krishna Mahaprem, Mahabhav, that's Prem, that's the Mahaprem. Mahaprem is the Mahabhav of Radharani. So he was deeply aware, he was correct. He's rendering service to Prem Sarup, Mahaprabhu, taking him to his house, protecting him. How much Agyata Sukriti he's getting, carrying him to his house. Sudipta Sattvika E Nam Jay Pralaya Nitya Sthira Bhakti Se Sudipta Bhavahai. Upon seeing the sign of Sudipta Sattvik Bhavas, that's the epitome of all 8, Sudipta Sattvik. There's 8 transformations, and the last one is fainting or pralaya. And when they're all accelerated to the 18th degree and all manifest simultaneously, then pralaya. When you have hundreds of wires plugged into the same thing, and then they get a power surge, everything blows up. So that all of his whole being was so much overwhelmed by that loving experience that can't contain. You're simultaneously crying and trembling, and voice is choked. And there's so much movements of the heart and body and mind. Sattvic, vikars, 8 transformations, divine love. And then sudipta, deep means flame. And su means totally inflamed, raging like a huge fire, just ready to burn. All these symptoms are so accelerated, just ready to consume and burn your whole existence. Sudipta. It's overwhelming, and then just fainted. Sudipta Sattva Nam Pralaya. Yenam Pralaya. It's named Pralaya, devastation. Upon seeing the signs, he understood the transcendental ecstatic transformation in the body of Mahaprabhu. Such a sign takes place only in the bodies of eternally liberated devotees. And then Prabhupada quotes a purport by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And here, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, describing what these 8 kinds of transcendental transformations in the body of advanced devotees. Sometimes they're checked by the devotee, but that's when they're not Sudipta. You can't check Sudipta. And he says that there are 2 stages of checking when they're not Duma Yitva and Dwalita. And Duma means smoke, smoking, and then Dwalit means blazing. It starts to show some flames. Dumayita, smoking stage, is exhibited when only 1 or 2 transformations are slightly present, and it is possible to conceal them. When more than 2 or 3 transcendental transformations are manifest, it is still possible to conceal them, although with great difficulty. This stage is called Dwalita, lighted, there's some flame. When 4 or 5 symptoms are exhibited, it's called blazing, Deepta. When 5, 6, or all 8 are simultaneously manifest, not usually 8, but you see, it's called Udipta. And it's Udipta, inflamed. And when all 8 symptoms are multiplied 1,000 times and are visible at once, all 8 symptoms, trembling, crying, hair standing on end, goosebumps, what do you call it? Perspiration. All 8,000 times. That's called the Sudipta. Nityasiddha Bhakta indicates an eternally liberated associates of the Lord. Such devotees enjoy the company of the Lord in 4 relationships as servant, friend, parent, or conjugal lover. Adi Rudha Bhava Yandra Tanra Evikar Manyushara Dehi Deki Bada Chamatkar. Adi Rudha Bhav. It's simply calling Bhav, but generally this means Mahabhav. Ruda and Adi Rudha. There's 2 divisions. Adi Rudha and Ruda. But Adi Rudha means Adik Ruda, extra. And that's the Divyanma. The Madhanakya comes under the category of the second one. This is Adi Ruda. So he's considering quite correctly the uncommon ecstatic symptoms of Adi Ruda Bhav are appearing in the body of Mahaprabhu. This is Chamatkar. This is very wonderful. How are they possible in the body of a human being? Because the human being can't even contain prema. When you come to prema, then you have to give up this body and assume the proper aprakrita deya and the Boma Vrindavan Leela to go further, and where all these types of sattvic vikars are taking place at that level. That's what he said, when one is nitya siddha, when one is liberated at that level and is gopi deha or gopadeya, in this case gopi deha, can experience these type of ecstasies. And even then, not even the liberated souls in the spiritual world, in their spiritual gopi deha, they can experience sudipta vikar. This is Radharani specifically describing, and that's who's being seen here. Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mode of Radharani. The uncommon, okay, we said that. And it says Adiruddha, it says Adiruddha Bhav or Adiruddha Mahabhav is explained Ujjvala Nilamani as follows. The loving propensity, ashray, devotee, prem ashraya, towards the prem vishaya, Krishna, becomes so ecstatic that even after enjoying the company of the beloved, the devotee feels that his enjoyment was insufficient. At such a time, the lover sees the beloved in different ways. Such a development of ecstasy is called anurag. When anurag reaches its highest limit and becomes perceivable in the body, it is called bhav. When the bodily symptoms are not very distinct, however, the emotional state is still called anurag, not bhav. When bhav, ecstasy, is intensified, it is called mahabhav. The symptoms of mahabhav are visible only in the bodies of eternal associates like the gopis. So that's what he's saying. Eta Chinti Bhatta, so imagine that Bhattacharya died in the wool at Waitan or Mayavad. What is it, 7? Also. But he's witnessing the Mahabhav of talk about kripa. Talk about some bhakti sanskaras. The first meeting with Mahaprabhu, he's witnessing Sudipta Vikara. He's seeing Mahaprabhu and Mahabhav, Divyanvan Mahabhav meeting Krishna. Unbelievable. And understanding what he's seeing, and he's like, wow, wait a minute. He's a human being? I have some doubts, because it's not possible for any human being. So, is this Yatri? Is this sannyasi? Is he a human being? Is he? Who is this? What? So now he's really getting confused. E Chinti Bhattacharya Achena Vasya Nityananda Adi Singha Dware Milila Asya. When Bhattacharya was thinking like this, then all the devotees of Mahaprabhu headed by Nityananda approached the Singhadwara, which is the east gate of the Jagannath temple. Tanashuni loke kahe anyanye bhat eka sannyasi asi deki Jagannath. There the devotees heard the people talking about a mendicant, a sannyasi who had just come to Jagannath Puri and had just taken Darshan, the deity of Jagannath, because everyone, obviously he's a showstopper. When Mahaprabhu goes somewhere, the showstopper. No one can imagine going to Jagannath Puri. You've been there. People aren't particularly tall in Orissa. Different parts of the world, they have different size human beings. And it hasn't radically changed in the last 500 years. And Puri in South India, they're not known for very tall personalities. North India, of course, the Jats and the Sikhs and many taller type human beings. So now this 7-foot beautiful form of Mahaprabhu comes in the temple on a regular day. It's not Rath Yatra, it's not Snan Yatra, it's the local Aryan devotees taking darshan, the devout congregation. Many yatris always are there. Who was that? He's wearing red cloth too. Quite striking color. He wasn't wearing this pink or yellow or orange that we were. Red. A red dhoti. Golden form. That red, why red? Because it's Radharani's anurag. Anurag is that color. Red. And Radharani wears that color when she's going out to Radhakund. She's going for Surya Puja, so she wears sun red, Surya red sari, flaming red. But that red actually was white sari when she put it on. And her bhav, her anurag prem dyed it. It is rag. The word rag means dye. Rag means color, means attachment, color. So the anurag, the cloth was dipped in her heart, and dyed by the bhavas of our heart. So now Mahaprabhu is wearing that same color. And he goes to Konark, he goes to the Sun Temple. Looking for Vishwa Sharma. Remembering the Leela where Krishna disguised as a Brahmin to do the puja here at Suryakund in Vrindavan near Radhakund. So Mahaprabhu runs to Konark, Where is my Vishwasharma? So Nityananda's come on the scene. He's heard that so he arrived. Yes, he came, and then Nityananda said, "Well, where is he? What happened?" "Oh, you don't know. Murchita Haila Chaitanya Nahaya Sharir Sarvabhama Lana Gela Apanaragari." People said that sannyasi fell down Morka. He fell down unconscious on the floor upon seeing the deity of Jagannatha. It was amazing. It's never happened before. People would see the deity and say Jai Jagannatha and Hi Anand Bazar. Right? Jai Jagannath and Hi Anand Bazar is where they get the Jagannath Mahaprasad. Jai Jagannath, and then you go out, hi, and then you take the Mahaprasad. At least you wait till you get Anand Bazar before you faint. Not going to faint until you go to Anand Bazar. There's so much kheer and so much kajra and so sabji, and you have to carry you out. So there he was. He said he fainted. Because it was unconscious, his consciousness did not return, Sarvabhauma took him to his house. Shuni sabi janila e Mahaprabhur karya hema kale aila tanan gopinathacharya. Hearing this, the devotees could understand that they were speaking of Mahaprabhu. Just then, Gopinathacharya arrived. So then he arrived. So he says, Nadia Nivasi Visharadera Jamata, son-in-law, as he said. Mahaprabhu Bhakta Teno Prabhu Tattvagyata. Gopinath was a resident of Nadia and the son-in-law of Visharad. Here it says the son-in-law, or whoever that is, and a devotee of Mahaprabhu. He knew the true identity of his lordship. Maheshwar Visharad was a classmate of Nilambara Chakravarti. He lived in Nadia in a village called Vidyanagar. He had two sons, Madhusudan Vachaspati and Vasudeva Sarvabhauma. Because Madhusudan Vachaspati, I believe that's who Sanatana and Rupa went to study Sanskrit from. Jiva Goswami. And his son-in-law was Gopinathacharya, this Visharad. Well, Visharad just means you're very expert, doesn't it? Sangeet Visharad means you're very expert. Sangeet Visharad means you're like a virtuoso or expert in singing or music. Maheshwara Visharad, he was whatever, expert in Shiva or something or whatever. Hard to say. Mukunda Sahita Purve Ache Parichai, Mukunda Dekhiya Tanra Hoila Vismai. Gopinath had previously been acquainted with Mukunda Datta, and when Acharya saw him at Jagannath Puri, he was very much astonished. And I think that was about it, really. I just wanted, because his time is there. Actually, I had more verses was listed in this pastime, but the main title I called this pastime, Lord Chaitanya's first darshan of Jagannath, and how he became so transformed. Then ultimately goes on into how he ultimately converts Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, which is the first verse we read, the mul shloka of the chapter, said that he converted him from his dry logic and impersonal viewpoint. He became a great devotee of the Lord, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And he had darshan of Sadbhuj in his house. And he started his devotional career by rendering service. Seeing the Lord and rendering service, necessary service. Service is judged by its necessity. So that service, it was spontaneous. He immediately prevented the temple watchman from beating Lord Chaitanya, which would have been a grave offense, and of course caused the demise of the chowkidar would have died, obviously. So he did a lot of good service. He saved the chowkidar. Well, of course, it's Jagannath's chowkidar, so maybe not die. There's a lot of things going on here, because Jagannatha is also Lord Chaitanya, so, and who knows how that would work, but it wouldn't be good. And so now he's rendering this nice service, and then he'll get return for that, certainly, because Lord Chaitanya will bless him greatly and give him prasad and break all his rules and regulations by a touch of Jagannath's prasadam. He already captured his heart. First you capture the heart, then you worry about rules and regulations. Prabhupada's preaching in New York, he captured it. So fantastic. And the whole idea is that Prabhupada was so compassionate and so tolerant of any and every idiosyncratic, expression of individuality you could imagine. And he just continued to love everyone and serve them all and respect them. I mean, this phrase I have, love all, serve all, respect all. Well, it's nothing new, it's nothing original. Prabhupada was the embodiment of someone who respected all living entities. And he loved all living entities, and he served them all because he served everyone by giving them Krishna. From the derelicts to the dacoits. From the dopeds to the dullards. From the dingbats to the dozos or whatever. He was such a very touching historical moment in the beginning. 1966, July, August, these movies were there, and it was quite amazing. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't impose all kinds of rules and regulations on Sarvabhauma. He spoke with him, he debated with him, they discussed the Bhagavatam, one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, Atmaramas Chamuniya, Nigranta, whatever. And then Sarvabhauma said, listen, you're a young sannyasi, I want to teach you the intricacies of this Bhagavat philosophy, which means Mayavad in his viewpoint. Atmaram, Yatmaram Munis. And he gave 18 explanations of this, or rather 9 explanations. And Lord Chaitanya sat there for 7 days listening. He's only 24 years old, and Sarvabhauma is about 70. Quite established acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He's in the history, as you can see in Puri. He's a king's guru. And all the pujaris are all in the Mayavad. The whole Shankara Sampradaya runs the puja and everything. So he's like the Mahant of the whole temple and everything. So then Lord Chaitanya is sitting, he said, you're just sitting quietly for 7 days. Are you sleeping? It's like a Bhagavatam class, and in Bhagavatam class you're going to sleep? He says, no, I'm attentively listening. And he said, so you would like to say something? Yes, with your permission I can try to say something. So then Lord Chaitanya started to speak, and he gave 18 explanations of that Ram verse, and at the same time he corrected some of the explanations given by Sarvabhauma. And Sarvabhauma was like, wait a minute, is this a child genius or a protege of perfection or what? He was quite amazed and more attracted. Already Saundarya Rupam is beautiful, and his prema, his beauty, Lord Chaitanya's beauty attracted Sarvabhauma, his Saundarya Sharir, and his prema vikara, his loving, this is love, transformations of love. I've never heard, I don't know, I am Mayavad, there is no love, but I'm seeing transformations of love. These are only in transcendental beings. How is it possible in this human being lying in my house, apparently a sannyasi of the Shankar school, like me? But he's a Shankar sannyasi, and he's showing prem vikar? This doesn't make sense. How is it possible? He's a Ek Dandi Mahaprabhu. He's taken sannyas from Keshav Bharati. He's a Shankar sannyasi. He's externally appearing as an Advaitin, and he's the Lord and Emperor of the Advaitin disciples, the Guru of logic, Sarvam Bhattacharya. He's one of us, but he's divine symptoms of Sudipta Mahabhav and Prem, Rudabhav, Mahabhav, Anurag. And then he has a discussion. He says he's not only beautiful, not only full of love, but he's pretty smart too. So that's a really dynamic combination. There's unlimited beauty and transcendental, unbelievable Mahabhav love, and then unlimited knowledge. More of these are the vibhutis, or the Aishwarya, what do you say, the Aishwaryasya, the Aishwarya vibhutis of the Lord, knowledge, beauty, and love, prema. So the Lord, he's getting so tightly bound by Lord Chaitanya. His mind is attracted, and his heart is becoming melted. And then his brother-in-law, his brother-in-law Gopinath is preaching to him. He's God. He is Krishna. He is Ram. He is Vishnu. Sarva Avatari. He's the Purnatam Bhagavan. Purnatam Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right here in your house, in your town, in the Gambhira. No, what are you saying? You're a young boy, you don't know what you're talking about. No, I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. And then one day Lord Chaitanya said, Sarvabhauma, wake up. Wake up, wake up. So he woke up, and then he had chant so many mantras, and do so many nyas, and take a bath, and then do achman, and chant Gayatri, and offer tarpan to the Suryadev. Many things he had to do. His morning nitya kriya, this daily purification rites. And when you wake up, this thing and this, so many things. And then Shalagram Puja. It's Brahman, Shalagram Puja. And Puja ke baad, then Shalagram Mahaprasad. Krishna Mahaprasad, Vishnu Mahaprasad. You can take food. So Lord Chaitanya comes, he's in bed. Sarvabhauma, wake up. It's Jagannatha Mahaprasad. I bought you Jagannatha Mahaprasad. Come. Uto. Cow. Take the Mahaprasad. No. Yeah. So then he just ate the Mahaprasad on the spot without washing his mouth, out anything. He broke all the rules and regulations, all the logic and everything that he stood for was based on this strong foundation of logic and yama and niyama and vishade and everything, vidhi nisheda. All of a sudden love conquered everything. The Jagannath's love and Gauranga's love. This is the preacher. This is the pracharak, the Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the Prem pracharak. There's so many pracharaks are out there preaching their messages, divine messages of Godhead or whatever, Advaitin philosophy. But the messengers of love, the messengers of Mahaprabhu, the messiahs of Mahaprabhu, they are messengers of love. They have phrase, love conquers all. Everything must submit to love. This is the greatest force in the universe. So this is what's exemplified ultimately in the story of Sarvabhauma. The greatest logician, the greatest Nyaya philosopher the world has ever seen became conquered by the compassion, the anugraha, compassion and love of Mahaprabhu. So we'll have another story from Chaitanya Caritamrta tomorrow by Mahaprabhu's mercy and Prabhupada's mercy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.